Well, hey, Facebook and beyond. This is Tia and my good friend.
I'm Dr. Michael Gross. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate all of you taking the opportunity to listen to our message. So, thank you
We
so
are
much.
here. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
That's okay.
Well, we are here on our regular Thursday nights at 7, and we're really, really blessed and honored to have everybody popping in. So we're going to go ahead and, I don't know, should we introduce you, Michael?
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce Michael. Um, he is an incredible friend, a phenomenal. How do I say it? I should just read the thing, right?
Whatever.
Just we have a script, and this is the only thing that I have as a script because I want to make sure that we give Michael all the credit that he deserves. And a lot of you don't know, may not know him. So we're going to go ahead and read this little verbiage about Michael, Dr. Michael Gross, and then we're going to go right into the topic. Okay, Michael?
Perfect.
Okay. Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and an incredible teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their own intuitive abilities. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the true source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing that the work that he does all comes from God, the true source. He lives in Lakewood, Washington, and please take a minute because he recently launched a nonprofit, and I'd love for you to share a little bit with the people that are here viewing it, okay? So I'm going to take it away, Michael.
All right. Just to reiterate again, the International Institute of Self Empowerment. There are 12 arms to it. It's a 501c3, as TU said. And the first thing we'll be raising money for with donations and grants will be working with abused women, children, and men. And certainly it's a huge undertaking. And just to let you know, when you have an abused woman, she usually have a couple of children, and she leaves without any money, has no place to stay. She needs to go to a hotel and eventually find an apartment and go through counseling with her children and herself, and then find a way to be self-supporting in a vocation and be able to be self-sustaining. So that's the huge undertaking, and thank you to you for I learned a lot about that from TU, who is a survivor, and we'll talk about her book Healing the Holes in Your Soul. And I asked her to be director of that division, and she agreed to. So thank you very much. And we'll talk about more of that about later, but I just wanted to remind all of you because we have tax season coming up, or any time we're open to any kind of beautiful donation. So thank you.
You're welcome. No, and thank you. We have a fascinating topic, and I cannot wait. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump right in because I want everybody to have an opportunity to hear your wisdom. Our topic tonight is living with the chaos around you, and I know everyone can relate to that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I thought what would be interesting to speak about tonight, and with the words of wisdom. And so, true source, as I call it, spirit particular subject. And as we're living around the world around us and everyone around us, we are affected by everyone's emotions. And I've drawn this analogy before. And if you're around somebody who's happy, you feel good after a while. Somebody who's really sad or angry, you're going to feel sad or angry. So we pick up each other's vibrations and energy. And some of you will remember the Beach Boys' Good Vibrations, that song. So that really applies because the mood that you're in as an individual will affect everyone around you, and the mood that they're in will affect everyone around them, including yourself. So now we understand that. is that everything's going, I don't know, let's say kind of haywire. People are worried about their jobs. We have inflation going on. We have talk about the dollar being devalued. We see people that are angry and upset. We see people that there's chaos on this planet, chaos going on in the school systems, shooting going on, all kinds of bullying going on, and children who are lost and don't know the direction to go into, and even parents. And there are many persons standing up for what they believe is right and correct, and they are being bullied or manipulated. So the most important thing for each one of us to live within the chaos that's around us is realize you don't want to be the creator of that chaos. So how do you become the creator of the chaos? It's because you adapt or become part of that chaos. But there's a part of you called the soul, okay? And that soul knows whether it's black or white, pink or yellow, green, positive or negative. And that's one of the points I'd like to point out to you is that we need to feel deep within us what's really the right, not our ego, but really what is right, what makes sense. And I've talked before about critical thinking, and that's so important. Critical thinking really says whatever somebody's saying or whatever you're reading or whatever you're feeling, does this really apply to me? That's number one. Number two is it good for me? Right? Because you innately know what is good for you and what isn't good for you. Like you would know you would not go out and drink poison to kill yourself because you know that's wrong. Right? And you know innately if you drink too much alcohol, you're going to get drunk. You can have an accident. You can fall or trip yourself. And then there are other things that are going around. If you're really angry or upset, what happens? Your blood pressure rises, your heart beats faster. And then wherever you store that energy, whether it's your stomach, you have rumbling stomach or ulcers, or maybe you have a heart conditions or gastrointestinal problem, whatever is going on, you're taking that in your body. So when you take it in your body, there's cause and effect. And one of the most important things we need to understand is everything we do, there's a payoff. You know, eat too much food, you're going to get put on weight, you're going to have indigestion, you may not sleep, you may be able to come down with diabetes or high blood pressure or blocked arteries, whatever it may be. So, most important thing is when you look at something that's going on, A, does it apply to me? B, what am I really feeling? What's the cause? That's the critical thinking. And C, how is it affecting me? And why am I letting it affect me? Well, there's a part of us that always wants to be right. I know certain people would go down with a ship and they would not change their mind because they want to be right. Well, there's an old saying, and that is in the business world, and that is you can win the argument and lose the sale, which means you can win what you're saying, but you're going to have a negative effect in your body. Therefore, we have choices. And the choices, and when there's chaos going around and about us, we have that opportunity to join in that chaos, and therefore being sick or confused or angry, or to stand back and say, what does this mean to me? How's it applying to me? And do I want to get involved in it? Now, it's not running away from situation. It's looking at it and saying, why am I being affected by that? What's in me that's affecting it? Okay, there's such a thing as truth. Okay, and if it's not your truth and people are saying things or whatever, you have a choice. Well, there's an old expression, don't argue with stupid. So I don't want to offend anybody, but sometimes you bring up a subject and then others will go, well, and they don't want to listen. So my suggestion is don't waste your energy, don't waste your time. So just go, thank you. Well, I appreciate your point of view and change the subject. Or even, talk to them for a few minutes and then leave because they're going to be angry or upset. Now, we talked about the fight or flight or frozen syndrome. Walking away from something is not fight or flight. It's just deciding critical thinking. I don't want to be a part of this, or I don't want to hear this. But because of our ego, we always want to be right. And as a spiritual teacher, and even when I was working with other people as a counselor, don't tell me what I'm doing right, because I already know what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. And that's something I want to learn. So if somebody says to me, that's wrong and all that stuff, I have to go to critical thinking. And the critical thinking is that, well, am I really spinning something here? Does it not apply? Or is that person denying it? I have to look at that, not in my ego. So what you do is you do that point of view. How's it affecting you? And what can you do about it? All right. So the first thing is that when people argue with me, and they go, I can't, I can't, I can't. And finally I try to explain it. I can't, I can't, I can't. And then finally I go, you won't, you won't, you won't. And then they get really angry and upset. You know why? Because you're right. You push their button. Most humanity, emotions, will not percent correct. So that's really important for all of us to understand. Most importantly is it's your life. What do you need to make your life joyous and happy? We can't stick our head in the sand and say everything's going to be better in 10 years or 20 years. We must be proactive. And one of the things to be proactive is how do you make happy, more joyous, and things going in continuity in your life? That's part of critical thinking. And realizing that everyone means well, and sometimes they're in denial. And when you call them, you're in denial or whatever, be careful how you couch it, because when they get really upset, you're 100% correct. That's part of our ego that does that. And we need to understand that each one of us has to face our own truth. And as I said, there's a payoff in our life by running away or hiding. Well, you can't run away and hide because this is the law. If something comes up and you're running away from problem, it'll come back bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you're running into a brick wall. Well, I got to do something about this. So avoid that. And by avoiding it is facing it and ask for your soul and true inner source guidance. How do I really handle this? And take a break. Sit down, have a cup of tea or coffee, or do a quick meditation and ask for guidance, what I call true inner source guidance, to handle that. I know Tia would like to add something, so go ahead.
Yes, thank you. When you're speaking about asking for true inner source guidance, as you were talking about that, the quote you have that came up was, what you think you create, what you create, you experience. And that's exactly what you're referring to, right? How can you just
That's
explain a little
correct.
bit more about how that all works?
Sure. Well, that's a good point. Thank you for bringing it up. So let's think about what you think you create and what you create you experience. The big picture, critical thinking is, what am I creating in my life? Think about that. Your thoughts are creating everything in your life. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're doing it how often? 24/7. You're creating everything in your life. Some of the thoughts you may have had a year ago, 3 months ago, yesterday, 5 seconds ago, they're going to manifest, meaning being created in your life. And it's so important that we understand what we're creating. So what I said when a person said, I can't, I can't, I can't, what they're doing is they're telling you they can't do it. Well, what you think you create, what you create, you experience. So if they can't do this, they're never going to be able to do it until they change your thoughts. So let's look at thoughts. Thoughts are energy. They can measure electrical brain waves. All right. So thoughts are electromagnetic. In other words, it's magnetic. It draws into your life anything you're thinking. So if you're thinking danger, fear, poverty, sickness, illness, whatever you're thinking, guess what? You're going to draw it into your life. Well, why would I do that? Because you have to learn that every thought is an illusion of some type. Well, wait a minute, Michael. What if I want to win the lottery? Is that an illusion? Yeah, it's an illusion, but it can become your reality. Although I will tell you that some people who thought about winning the lottery, and it's a small number, do win the lottery. Then you know what happens? They make a lot of money, and from the statistics, they end up going bankrupt because they don't know how to handle it. And each person will say, no, 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 I would never go bankrupt. I'm sure that's what they said too. But what the mind can conceive, the body will believe. So think about it. If you say, I'm going to come down with a cold, I'm going to go this, I'm feeling lousy, congratulations. You're manifesting in your life. With all the sickness and illness that's going on, COVID virus, the flu, the colds, cancer, blah, blah, all those things are going on, is that the most important thing is that I always tell everybody, when you're faced with this, you say, I don't have time for this. I'm just too busy. Well, your body goes, oh, well, you're saying what you think you create, which creates your experience. So I don't have time for this. I'm too busy. And the mind can conceive, the body will believe. Within your body, every material, any energy, everything that is needed to keep you healthy is already there in your body and your immune system. Lack of sleep, taxing your body, yeah, may cause the cold or something else. But when you listen to the thoughts of your soul, you'll realize slow down, take it easy, and so on and so forth. So it's great to be an overachiever, but you pay the price. So, how do you find harmony and balance in your life, right? Well, very joy. And that's all you need to do, harmony and balance and joy. What's going to happen? Say it every day, a couple of times a day. You're going to have harmony and balance and joy in your life. But let your soul decide what's joy. You know, I talk to people, well, if I make $1 million, I'll have joy. No, you won't. Want to know why? Because you'll be so worried about losing the money you can't enjoy it. And I've met so many people that way. Or you might have relatives or friends. Hello, I haven't seen you in a while. I need $100,000. I need 50,000. I need this, need that. And, maybe out of the goodness of your soul, you'll help them out. But I'll share a quick little story. And I've had a lot of my clients, and one of them said, I'm going to give them $20,000. They're in debt up their eyeball. And I said, well, behind the eight ball, needed more money. They didn't learn the value of it. So many things in life we have to learn the value. You want to help someone out with $20,000? Go ahead, tell them it's a loan. And then you can turn around and gift it to them when they straighten out their lives. But it's so important for us to learn it. Critical thinking comes back into our life. Do I want to be part of this chaos? No, I don't want to be part of this chaos. I don't want anything to do with it. However, you are the answer to the chaos for you, for your family, for your friends, and for the universe. What we are facing now is a lot of chaos on the planet. And as I say, you are the solution and you can make a difference. And when you ask for true inner source guidance, whether be an example, speak your piece, support others that want to make changes, or just meditate, or whatever you want to do or desire to do, whatever your soul says, you can make the difference. And you have that power to make that difference. That's what's so important. So you're not powerless. When you give up your power is that when you live in the fear and the doubt and the insecurities. One of the things that Jesus taught and the great masters, your unconditional love, your guides, your angels, the true source, you're unconditionally loved. And would your guides, your angels, or the true source want you to be poor, sick, and ill? Think about that. You want to be that way? You can. You have free will and free choice. But it's you who created that, not God, not the true source, not your angels and your guides. It's you through your own, let's say, pig-headedness. Hate to use that word, but it is, because you would rather be right, which you'll end up being wrong, than admit the truth and change. Owning up to, do I want to believe everything I'm hearing? You know, President Reagan says, trust, but verify. And that's so important. That's not a political statement. It makes sense. Trust everything everybody says, but verify it. Ask for a sign. Do a meditation. Do whatever is necessary to find the truth. And then you realize, no, that doesn't apply to me, or I don't want to live in this kind of chaos and this fear, because if you do, you're going to become a recluse. You're going to make yourself sick. And at the same time, your energy is going to affect others around you who are going to be afraid. And for those of you who are in the United States or whatever country you're living in, there were a certain amount of, I'll call them patriots, many, many, many eons ago, that said, I want to change my living conditions. And so what happened is there was a revolution of some kind for souls to find freedom and joy in their life. The United States, South American countries, European countries, all over the place it happened. Unfortunately, some people lost their lives. But on the other hand, there are systems now where we can make changes politically in our governments and passing laws and so on. But the important thing is when you're looking at whatever laws are guiding you, have to realize, does this make sense? Don't go with the emotions, go with critical thinking. When we go with our emotions, we will always pay a price for it, because we'll find out later it doesn't really work. I just keep looking at the time, everyone. So I want to sum this up very easily for all of you. And in summing this up is that there's no one in control in your life except you. And what you think you create, what you create, you experience. So right now, all of you listening to this message, what do you desire to create in your life? Think about it. Health, harmony, peace, balance. Yes, you can add prosperity and joy. Those are the things that are so important to you. Then look around you and see how you can achieve that. Don't worry about the money as much, because as Steve Jobs said, money can't buy health. And he realized that. And many people you talk to who have an illness, for all of you to realize that you're in control of your life. And remember that nobody else is. And don't give up your ability to create your life for whatever experiences you so desire. So keep that in mind, everyone. And you know my motto, if you don't know where you're going, you can't get lost. And that allows you to achieve anything you so desire. So to you, thank you. I know there's some things we want to talk about, and I'll let you talk about what I consider to be very, very important.
I love your message. Thank you. And you're absolutely right. If you don't know where you're going, you can't get lost. I love that. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, half the time I don't know where I'm going, but now I know I'm not going to get lost. So it's okay. All the answers come in good time as long as we're patient, right?
Correct.
Okay. So why don't we take a minute? We want to thank everybody for popping in. We've had a lot of things going on these last few days with when you look in the news and there's chaos out there everywhere, whether it's in your family or whether it's around you in your neighborhood or whatever. So always, 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 protect yourself and be mindful of your surroundings, right? That's the art of discernment, right?
Yes.
I was looking for that word. Okay, but here we go. Why don't you take a minute, Michael, and tell everybody what you do on Tuesday nights? I also have all the numbers that we're going to give you in the contact information in the comments. But go ahead, Michael.
All right. So every Tuesday night, it's called a Soul Awakening. And what you do, if you so desire, and 6:30 p.m. daylight savings time to 7:30 p.m. Pacific daylight savings time, and you ask any questions on spirituality or about life that you so desire. And then after that, there's approximately a 10-minute, a motivational little, I'm not going to call it a speech, but a motivational message that is to empower you to look at your life. And I think there's 275, 276, something like that. But first of all, I would like you to give you that number. So if you're available on Tuesday evening, and there's something magical that will happen on Tuesday evening, and you're going to feel some beautiful, loving energy. So, Tia, why don't you share that number?
Absolutely. It's 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125-446-pound.
I'll read it one more time. It's 202-926-1059.
The access code is 125-446-pound. I love doing that. And using the same set of numbers, the second Saturday of every month, I do what is called a mass consciousness healing. And that's where we work with True Source Inner Guidance and True Source's unconditional love to send healing to Mother Earth, as I call her. Not only Mother Earth, but the animal, mineral, and vegetable kingdom. And guess what? We're part of the animal kingdom. We're human. So it reaches every soul. And it's so important. So I encourage all of you, and it's 9:55 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time to 11:01 Pacific Daylight Savings Time. So it's an hour and 6 minutes, and we run pretty close within that. We don't go more than a minute or two over. So I would encourage you the second Saturday. And just give the numbers one more time because they already heard it.
Okay. It's 202-926-1059. And the access code?
125-446-pound. And I call the replay, that's the repeat messages. You're stuck in traffic, you're tired, you're depressed, you're feeling sick. And it goes from number 3 to about 275. Just choose any number. Doesn't make a difference. Your soul will tell you the right number. And I can't tell you how many people have told me just what I needed to hear. And in order to get that number, you can play it in the car, on the phone, or whatever. That telephone number is?
Alrighty, it's 434-300-4170. And the access code?
125-446-pound. So it's the same access code, just a different number. One more time, please.
434-300-4170.
Same access code, 125-446-pound. So I want to encourage all of you to do that. Listen to the messages. And also, we're on YouTube. So please look Dr. Michael B. Gross and go to YouTube. See what we've talked about in the past. And then there are recorded 10-minute messages that's being recorded. There's a beautiful picture because it's all audio with one of the True Source's sayings. And I would invite all of you to do that and subscribe. That'll help a great deal because by subscribing, we get more and more upfront. In other words, YouTube will place us in a higher position to get this message out because that's part of my mission and goal, to help you find out who you are and reconnect with the true source, to create, to manifest your spiritual missions and goals. So it's all about you. So I would encourage you to do that. Also, join us on next Thursday from 7 p.m. to 7:30 and bring more and more guests. Tia, is there anything you want to add?
Gotcha. I got ya. Yeah. Start with Michael's book. If it wasn't for this book and the incredible man right next to me, the book he's holding wouldn't have been written. And I tell you, This for me changed my life. It's very well written. This is the second edition, and there's some extra golden nuggets in here. So definitely connect with us, and we'll put one of these beautiful books in your hands. It's our mission and goal to enrich everybody's life. Right, Michael?
Absolutely. And I would suggest you reading this book, Healing the Holes of Your Soul by T.U. Knapp. It's a story of a woman who went through utter chaos and became like the phoenix, the mythological bird rising from the ashes. So I'd encourage you all to get this book. Now, I'd like to add one more thing. The Spiritual Primer was on Amazon. They run out of them. So in the next week or two, I'll be sending them some more books. But in the interim, if you want, Tio put the information and I can mail it directly from my office here, and you'll save a little bit of money. So it'll be a little trade off. You won't get it overnight, you'll get it in 3 or 4 days. But I would encourage you, all of you, to read the Spiritual Primer because it's channeled information to empower and heal you. So I'd like to thank all of you for your time. Know that we
One more
love
thing,
you.
Michael.
Yes.
One more thing. If you go directly through Michael or directly through me, you get a signed copy. You get a beautiful signed copy, and that's not possible to get through Amazon. So, so it might take a couple extra days, but I think the personal touch, the blessing that goes with that book, is much. It's just a beautiful gift to give. So if you know anyone else that's also struggling, they're looking for something that might be missing in their life. And I'll be really quick. Thank you for your extra time. But if you know anyone who's struggling in their life with anything that's going on, whether it's abuse, whether it's domestic violence, just missing something in their soul, definitely connect them with Michael or me, and connect them with, if you don't want to connect them in person, that's okay. Just offer them a book, give them a book. It's the greatest gift you could give someone you truly love. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you,
are
everyone.
amazing.
Well, thank you. And so are you. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. I appreciate you. Remember, you are loved. You're never alone. And you are unlimited. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
I love you. Take care.